How to make the monster. First, let's orbit your scene so that the blue axis is facing you. I'm going to make a sphere. I'm going to change the number of segments over here. If you don't see this, click on the word sphere. The number of segments to 8 instead of 24. Press enter. I'm then going to make this editable. I'm then going to go to face mode, polygons mode. I'm then going to click my middle mouse button to go to the front view. Let's get close. Click your middle mouse button in the front window. Okay. I'm going to change, we're usually on the live selection tool. I'm going to hold that down and go to the rectangular or the rectangle selection tool. Right away, I'm going to turn on only, actually turn off only select visible elements. Be sure this is off. I'm going to start in the corner here, and I'm going to drag a selection box that's a little bit more than halfway over my original sphere. A little more than half. That will select half of the sphere. I'm then going to press delete. It should cut it in half. If it didn't, this wasn't turned off, and you can try it again. I'm going to press middle mouse button again. Oh, actually, we'll stay here. Let's do a few more things. We want to hold down this weird looking, flowery looking cube icon. We're going to go to the word symmetry. I'm going to drag the word sphere into symmetry. It should duplicate it. If this doesn't work, it means you might not have orbited your scene so that the blue axis was facing you. I'm then going to add a hyperNURBS, or a subdivision surface they call it, and that's right here. I'm going to drag the word symmetry into subdivision surface. I can then go back to the perspective view to see what we have. I'm going to click on the sphere up here, the word sphere, and we can begin. I like to save at this point. We can call this monster with your name. We're on face mode. I'm going to select up. Let's move back to the live selection tool. And we can select, if you hover over, we can select only this side of it. Let's click on this side, or this face of the sphere. And I'm going to move over here. You don't want to be on the geometry. We're going to move our mouse. We're going to right click and go to bevel. Now we've done this before. We're going to stay away from the yellow. I'm going to move here. I'm going to hold down Control first. I'm going to hold down my mouse button, and I'm going to move to the right to make it a little longer. I can move to Shift to make this a little bit smaller, and then let go. I'm going to do the same thing again with my mouse over here. Hold Control and move out. I'm out my mouse, holding down my button, and move to Shift to go a little smaller. The next face we're going to look for is this face. And this will be the legs. So I'm going to hold down Control, come out, move to Shift, smaller, again out, a little smaller, again out, but this time we'll go larger, and then one more to make feet. I'm going to select this face. And this face is a little too large to bring out horns, although we could do it. I usually split this face. So let's get our move tool. I'm going to select on this face. I'm going to right click to get the knife tool. And that is I think in the new Cinema 4D they've changed it to the line cut tool, but it's called the knife tool for you. And if I get close here, I'm just going to drag from one edge to the other and press return or enter on your keyboard. Done. Let's get off of this tool right away, back to the move tool, and now if I come back to face mode, I can select only the smaller of the two faces. I'm going to right click and bevel. We're going to bring that out again, holding down Control first, then to Shift, Control to Shift. You can go Control and go bigger to create some rounded horns. I'm going to select now the one that was next to that face right here. And let's try to extrude this, or bevel it. I'm going to right click and bevel. I'm going to hold down Control and smaller, Control, Shift down smaller. We're going to select this face and I'm going to make the eyes. So what we'll do, we will hold that right click and bevel, hold down Control and move. Instead of out, we're going to move our mouse to the left to push it in and move to Shift so that it gets a little smaller. Okay, we'll fill those with eyes later, with just spheres inside of spheres. This face for the mouth, I'm going to just select it and press delete. That will open up his mouth. And then we can texture, add eyes, tongue, smush down a sphere, put it in his mouth, make a little bit of a background, and that's it. And we'll call that one done. If you want to do some extras, this would be some extras I would think about. If I wanted toes, I could take this face and we would need to cut it, but this is just extra stuff. We can right click and go to the line cut or the knife tool, and I'm going to, don't do that, I'm going to first select this face. I'm going to get the knife tool and I'm going to split this into thirds. Like that. So now I have three faces. I'll go to face mode again. I've got all three faces, and I'm going to right click and bevel, and we're going to come out and bevel. But if I do, they're all, I could have kind of a duck feet, but if I want them separated, toes, I would click on, I would turn off preserve groups. So now when I hold down Control and come out, we have toes. And you can make those a little bigger. And maybe come out one more time. Just like that. Again, these are extras. You could do the same with the hand. However, I recommend selecting the front face just to squish it so that it's a little bit thinner. And then we can take this front face where we can right click and use the line cut tool, and here to here, return, and here to here, return or enter. Get off that tool, the new tool. Let's go to face mode. Faces are selected. I'm going to turn, I'm going to right click and bevel first. Make sure they're selected. Bevel, I'm going to hold Control and come out. Good, and one more time. Like that. If I wanted a thumb, this would be too large of a face, so I'm going to select it. You need to select the face to be able to cut it with the knife tool. I'm going to get the knife, I'm going to click and press return, and hit the move tool again, go back to face mode and select that face, right click and bevel. And let's see if we can bring out, if you hold Control first, and he's giving us the thumbs up. Great. Okay, so now I can take some other faces. The arms look a little bit thick, so if I take this face, I hold shift and click this face. Let's click this face holding shift, and the one on the bottom here. All four of those faces, I can just take my scale tool, scale proportionally by moving away from the gizmo, and scaling down like that. I can do the same with the legs too, if you wanted to. We can make these a little smaller by getting all, looks like 3 of those faces, and I'll scale. Actually, I might not do that. Okay. I could take this face, and we've done this before. We can click this face, right click, and knife tool to cut right across, and press return. I'm going to get to face mode and only select the smaller face to bring out, with bevel, a little bit of a kneecap. Like that. And once you add your tongue and your textures, this will look pretty good, and the eyes. I hope that helps. Okay, good luck.